Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. Happy Valentine's Day, by the way. I hope you guys are ready to get our weekend started. I know I am, but we're going to get right into it, guys, because I want to talk about grifters today. We're going to be talking about the Goncalves family. Some of you have not kept up with them, so I just wanted to keep you guys up to date. And also, there is an author, a well-known author. If you guys have heard of James Patterson, he is getting ready to set the release of this IDAHO4 novel. So I definitely wanted to cover that because there are differing opinions on this matter. Some people are saying this is disturbing, disgusting, that this is milking the situation, that this is monetizing the passing away of these four beautiful people. And other people have, different ideas. So I just wanted to vent with you guys because I was on Reddit and I'm like, wait a minute. So this book, written by, again, well-known author, guys. If you have heard of James Patterson, let me know what your thoughts are on this, because he wrote a novel that is titled The IDAHO4, An American Tragedy, right? And it's supposed to go on sale on July 14th, 2025, right? So how are you guys doing, by the way? Happy Valentine's Day for those of you who are coming in here. I'm trying to see if I can pull the chat up, but don't know if it's gonna let me. I will just wait a little bit here, see if this loads. Let's see. Oh, look, it's working, right? Welcome, guys, for all of you who are entering. Let me know, please, in the chat if it is working. I've had a lot of issues since the time I was banned from uploading here. It's just been problematic. Every time I go live, there is like a pending go live. It won't let me go live the first time, and then now it's like letting me. So I usually takes every day before I go live, guys. It takes me 2 to 3 tries, right? So let's see who is in the chat. Hi, William. Welcome, Taylor. Hi, Doc and Dawn. Nadine is here. Too fast for fleas. Are you okay? What's that face? It's funny. Hi, Pamela. Hi, Nadine. Hi, Val. Happy Valentine's Day. Hi, Chat Justice for Kilo. Hi, Lady Speedwell. Nocturnal by Nature is here. So is, oh, thank you. Happy Valentine's Day to you also. Nocturnal by Nature. William says, I like Patterson. Hopefully his book is better than Plum's. I don't know. Nadine, my Instagram is on the description of every video. Obviously, it's not on the description here yet. It will be, but if you check all of the other videos, it's linked there. So you can get a hold of me there if you guys want to send me any information. Nadine is from South Africa. Cool. Happy Valentine's Day. Too fast for fleas. Good to see you, all of you guys. Hi, Thomas from Ireland. Oh my goodness, it's working. Demon Dog, I'm with you, right? Demon Dog says, I don't like the idea of any book until we have a verdict. And this book that is supposed to be released here, it's supposed to be on sale here, July, that is pre-trial, right? I personally want to know, how in the world are people writing books when they don't even know what happened yet? We have our theories, we have our assumptions, but people are out here writing like, American tragedy, this took place, and I'm wondering, how biased is this book going to be? The fact that there is a book going on sale pre-trial that honestly is very likely to be biased, and it's very likely to portray the narrative of Kohberger being guilty. How is it possible for an author to release this? it's legal. We know it is legal, but at the same time, it's very concerning for me personally because I understand how easily people can be swayed. And when you have this well-known author putting his ideas, pen to paper and saying this is what took place, it could impact potential jurors, right? It's people cashing in, says Miss Corina. Thank you, Miss Corina. And you would just think that these authors would wait at least until after the trials, when all the details come out. A lot of people that I found and followed on Instagram that were fans of James have now unfriended him. They are a little bit bothered. They're saying, ew, this is gross. The fact that the trial has not even happened yet. This is ridiculous. Authors writing stories, cashing in, right? Personally, you guys know I'm one that it feels weird. It has a weird, dirty, grimy feeling, right? And just let the trial start. And then if you want to write, American tragedy, whatever, do your thing, right? In my opinion, there needs to be a law that only allows these types of books or documentaries. I believe that there are documentaries that are getting ready to be published as well. I think there are already some on Netflix. And it's funny because my husband was like, look, babe, Kohberger documentary, do you want to watch it? I was like, God, please no, I don't want to watch it because I already know what it's going to be talking about, right? This IDAHO4 documentary, it's going to paint Brian as a bad guy, and these documentaries being released pre-trial are going to change how people see this crime, how people see Brian Kohberger in general, and we never get all the facts. We never get all the facts anyway, and we are definitely not going to get a two-sided story in a documentary, right? So I just think that there should be some sort of law that only allows, these interviews, books, documentaries to be released post-trial. It's become quite popular. I've seen this happen time and time again, like over the past few years. There's lots of books and documentaries that are being released about cases that are not even in trial yet. So America, wake up. We know that true crime is a very it's a fast growing money making business here in America, and obviously this isn't going to change. You guys could also say that I'm part of the problem, right? If you really wanted to, because I'm up here, but I'm trying to be as unbiased as possible, and I'm not selling anything, right? I'm not selling anything. And personally, the grifters make me a little bit sick. As far as the Goncalves family knows, I've gotten so many threats from the Goncalves army of hate after the last video I made a couple of days ago. And it's very interesting to see them attack me on my Instagram, on different social media. Some of them even found my personal emails and they're like, we're gonna find you. And, yeah, I'm like, you aren't gonna do anything because you're in your mama's basement, right? That being said, it's like, look, I'm just the messenger. You cannot get upset at me. What I mentioned about the Goncalves family was what they posted on their very own Goncalves family page. And that was one where Idaho Strong is asking for more money, and more people are waking up to this. A lot of people are having questions. They're like, what is going on? Because the Goncalves have raised, I've lost track of how much money, but we know that it's over $150,000 for this trial. They're saying it's extremely expensive to have to stay in hotels. Just a friendly reminder, right? The average American salary is like $40,000, $50,000 per year. So it does make a lot of people question the Goncalves, right? Because now the Goncalves family is saying through Idaho Strong that $150,000 is not enough, that they need more money for this trial. So don't come barking at me. Don't get mad at me. You know, if you're feeling a certain way, that's on you, boo. Again, I'm just the messenger. But after uploading that video and learning how many people, at least our little family here, our YouTube family, the people who are commenting all the time and supporting the channel, I was like, thank goodness. I was relieved to see how many people agreed with me, right? And you guys know I bit my tongue in that last video, but so many people are agreeing and they're saying this is extremely odd. Why are they asking for more money, right? This man who allegedly claimed to be a self-made billionaire on his LinkedIn. By the way, is that still up there? Is that still up there, right? Why is a self-made millionaire asking for more and more money? Do you guys think that the Goncalves family are also grifters? Are they also milking the situation? Or maybe they're just a family in need? Either way, let me know your thoughts on that. How are you guys doing in the chat? Let's see here. Oh, I wanted to answer this because some of you guys were telling me that I like streaked my hair. I don't know what that means. Do you guys mean put highlights on my hair? I would never, guys. I was blonde for like a decade and it fried my hair. By the way, don't put carcinogenic chemicals in your hair. You don't need to dye your hair. You don't need to streak your hair, right? Just keep it natural. We love you as you are. Okay, stop putting shit in your body, on your body. I don't recommend it, right? And another daily reminder for those of you who may be new here, in my opinion, there is not one single documentary, one book, podcast, YouTube channel, okay? Not one single source that can change the fact that Mr. Kohberger is innocent until proven guilty, right? There are so many sources of disinformation, so many sources of misinformation, outrageous lies, not only by grifters and YouTubers and podcasters and authors. There's also outrageous lies by police officers, as we have seen Payne and Mowry on the stand, right? Falsifying documents, swaying the narrative, misleading the magistrate judge, right? Okay, enough is enough. And whether you are milking this whole situation, whether it's, you know, from the victims or from Brian Kohberger, I just think it's disgusting. But that's just me. That is just me, guys. So ALW says bearing down for this winter weather advisory in Chicagoland. Oh my gosh, so cold here. We should all just go to like Cancun or something, right? Linda says the G family doesn't like the truth, apparently. I mean, I'm not going to say anything, but Nadine says, crime time. Are you talking to me about the page we met on that other live? Why aren't they questioning everything, right? Demon Dog says, KG made over $100,000 selling coffee? Doubt it. And I've made videos in the past talking about her accounts, and I got so many attacks from so many people on here. They're like, how could you speak ill? You know, we are obsessed with decorum. We are obsessed of only speaking well of the dead. But the fact that this young lady, KG, had so much money in her bank account, I mean, we have to question it. If anything, it would be just to solve this case. This is not about making KG look bad. This is not to paint her in a certain light. I think when you follow the money, including the money that were in several of those students' bank accounts, it's going to lead us to probably the truth, right? Every time we follow the money, we end up getting too hot, we're getting too close to the truth, and that's when we really start getting attacks. I've always been one to believe that if you're getting hate from all places, it's probably because you're getting too close to the truth. And by the way, was it not Mr. Goncalves himself that was like, ugly things are gonna come out? What kind of ugly things was he talking about? Was it money things? Was it maybe illegal things? What was it? Was it hex? We know that also people have speculated about KG and Maddie maybe being lovers. What was so disgusting that was going to come out? What was so disturbing that was supposed to come out? And is it still under seal? Is that why there are so many legal documents under seal in this case, right? So keep your eyes peeled. Miss Jessica says, hi, Chicagoland friends, and hi to my other veterans, Army. Nika, I worked with Cy Ray in Afghanistan. Oh my gosh, I would love to meet Cy Ray in person. I know that he has a YouTube channel. He has some sort of podcast setup. I believe it was with his wife. I know I watched a couple of videos like a long time ago. Feels like a long time ago with him and his wife, and I love the setup, the back and forth. He seems to know everything he's talking about. And guys, a lot of you have forgotten about Cy Ray, and don't forget about Cy Ray, because this man, the fact that he's coming forward, over 30 years experience, law enforcement, training people, being higher ranking police officer, working with the feds, training federal agents, training people from all law enforcement agencies. Cy Ray had always worked with the state, right? He'd always worked for the state. And this time he's coming forward and he's like, hello, something's really fucked up here. What the fuck is going on? I volunteer to work for the defense because there is something extremely shady here. And for those of you who want to push Cy Ray off to the side and are saying, well, he's just trying to sell a business, you know, he's just trying to monetize this. No. A man with over 30 years experience in law enforcement would not put his already perfect resume, perfect career on the line just to defend a potential criminal. He wouldn't do that. That would be an idiotic financial move, right? I personally believe that the reason Cy Ray came forward is because I think that he is the type of man that I look up to, the type of human being that I look up to. It's very difficult to do the right thing when a lot of people in law enforcement are doing the wrong thing. And Cy Ray comes across as an honorable man, an honest man, who is saying, hello, I have faith still in law enforcement and law enforcement agencies, but here we have some bad apples maybe. Here we have something maybe a little bit suspicious, maybe a little bit something illegal. Maybe some of these officers, some of these agents were not trained correctly, or what the fuck is going on? I believe that's where Cy Ray is coming from, and that's why he's like, you know what? It's going to be hard. I'm going to get attacked. They're going to probably misrepresent me. They're probably going to misrepresent my 30-year career. And so be it. At the end of the day, he's probably doing all of this because he knows there's something wrong here. Something is not making sense, and he's got to do the right thing and come forward despite getting so many attacks by so many gullible Americans, so many gullible people in general, and probably getting attacks from law enforcement agents as well, right? Because my personal experience, and maybe you guys don't care, as a veteran, is that when I was in the military, when I was active duty, when I was serving overseas, and I saw things that were fucked up, and I reported that, and I started a massive investigation, I was hated. Okay, I was hated. I was shunned while I was in there until that investigation was over and everything came to light, and they were like, oh my God, we praise you, Nika. We praise you 5 years later for doing the right thing and calling out the bad apples. But during those other 5 years that I was in there while that investigation took place, it was all hate and attacks. And again, this was just a tiny military facility overseas. I can't imagine being Cyree, right? He knows, I'm sure, agents all over the country. He has been in law enforcement for 30 freaking years. He has got to be getting his ass lit by everybody that knows him. I hope that he knows that we have his back here, that we support him. And all I can say is thank you, Cy, for being amazing and for doing the right thing, because again, it could be the hard thing to do, right? So what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Let's see what the chat is saying. Scott Green probably had a lot of sugar babies. That's disgusting. That being said, I did find some information on his wife. If I'm not mistaken, she was like an interior designer in New York. But I just must wonder, is she living in Idaho with him? Because it seems like there are still some businesses attached in New York. And that would make things very interesting, at least for me, right? Like knowing that Green is in Idaho, but is the wife still in New York? What is their relationship like? Honestly, a lot of men, a lot of power, a lot of money. Lady Speedwell, yeah, they have a lot of sugar babies sometimes. So Truth Seeker says Cyree hasn't been active on his YouTube channel for 2 or 3 months now. I wonder if he was maybe forced to remove himself from YouTube, right? Because again, people will misinterpret whatever he was saying on his channel. They misinterpret what I say here. And Cyree, I'm sure he had a lot of people coming for him, right? Connie says, I would love to hear JS' statement that was given to Ellie as to what Maddie told Adam. Where was Maddie and Kaylee that day? Also, the killers were using the victim's phone to message. Yeah, I always have thought that. I always have thought that those messages were sent by the criminals as well, especially when we think back and remember that a lot of the parents came forward back in the early days and they said that 2 a.m. was their darkest hour. So I think what we are looking at, what we have on our hands here, is a case that the crime was committed much earlier than we are being told, much earlier, probably 1:30, maybe 2 a.m. And now they have switched that timeline to fit their current narrative, right? If they had not switched that timeline, if we are going to assume that the crime actually took place around 2 a.m., then you can't pin it on Brian Kohberger, because those random blurry white images that they have, it's not going to match the actual timeline, the actual time of the crime. Is this why the cops maybe lied, maybe skewed the timeline? Again, think back when this crime first happened. Parents, sisters, brothers, family members came forward and said 2 a.m. was the darkest hour. Then magically it got shifted to much, much later. So don't forget that, right? And Jeff says, millions know the name Cyree now. Exactly. Can you imagine? He probably got so bombarded on his YouTube channel, because I know that when I found out that he had a YouTube channel, I was like, I don't really have time to watch other people, not usually, but you know what? Cyree, if there's one person I'm going to watch, it's going to be Cyree. So good move, Cy. He's got nothing to lose and all to gain. Just share his opinion and win or lose. He walks away shining. I don't think he has nothing to lose. Again, relationships are huge when you've been in law enforcement or in the military. These, can change the trajectory of your career. If it's who you know, a lot of the times, right? In any career, but more so in law enforcement. And he has a lot to lose. He could lose the support by so many people within whatever work he's doing. He could lose the support of thousands of people that he's probably met, trained within his 30 years of law enforcement. So I don't think that it's nothing. Relationships make the world go round, especially when these relationships may be tied to your career. I think that he has a lot to lose, and he is just doing this because it's the right thing to do. You would think one person noticed them, but no YouTube creator or chatter even mentions this. I'm not sure what you're referring to, Caroline. Crime Time says, if Cy is an indicator of the caliber of defense witnesses, you can bet this case will go in their favor. The state cannot find anyone to testify for them. I wonder why, right? We were told this case was a done deal in the early days, and still we have nothing. ALW, I hear that Ethan was not in a good place with his mother at the time of his death. I'm not sure about that. And even then, I think that's a difficult age, right? Your early 20s, you're exploring life, you're doing your own thing, and you're bound to clash with your parents when you're, late teenage years, early 20s. I think that's relatively normal. I don't think that not being in a good place with your mother means that that's why there was something nefarious going on. But still, it's good to note, right? I'm sorry, did I miss some of the chat? There's a lot going on. Hi, Tommy. Tommy Jude. Is Nika done? Yes. No. 2 a.m. darkest hour comment was made on November 15th, 2022. Crime Time says, I don't think Ethan's family were supportive of their relationship and his lack of dedication at school. I mean, as a parent, would you not feel the same way? I feel like that's a normal emotion for a parent to feel. Like you're sending your kids off to college, which, by the way, is stupid expensive. You're sending them off to college and they're like fucking off, right? That would be kind of frustrating as a parent. I think that's typical emotion. Like, it's fine, it's college, you're gonna have your fun, but you still have to like at least get your grades, right? Ray Annette says, it is shocking that the judge won't let the touch trace DNA be thrown out. I don't think it's shocking at all. As I mentioned yesterday, guys, the judges, from what I have seen, almost always side with what the state wants. And one can argue, well, it's going to be up to the jury, blah, 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 blah. But we know that when we follow the money, we understand how many resources have already been utilized on this case, meaning time, money. They've had to transfer Mr. Koberger to a separate jail. Like, there's a lot going on, a lot of time, a lot of resources, not to mention a lot of eyes are on this case. And most of the eyes that are on this case are people who assume Mr. Brian Koberger is guilty, that he killed 4 people, that he did it all by his lonesome, that he magically happened to leave 0 DNA anywhere, not in his car, not in his home, or in his apartment in Pullman, not at his parents' house, nothing except just a tiny portion, just a tiny touch of trace DNA inside the snap button of the sheath, which we still don't even know to this day. Was the K-bar even the weapon that was utilized for this crime? Because maybe it was machetes, maybe it was golf clubs, maybe it was who knows, right? And I had a dream last night. I know this is super random, but I have like very vivid dreams sometimes. And I've had this dream. It's one of those dreams that just keeps coming back, like a lot. I guess I'll tell you guys. This is so random. Look, I have ADHD. I'm hyperactive, so I'm all over the place. If you can't handle it, you can just leave, because this is what I do here. And my dream was of the victims ODing right? They OD'd because they were all using things because they're college kids and they're experimenting and they're doing what most college kids do. So in my dream, everybody was participating in the use of illegal substances and they OD'd, right? And in this dream, the cops were called by, I'm not gonna say this, I know it's a dream, but I'm still like, I'm a little shy. The cops were called, and the cops changed the crime scene around. The cops made this look like a crime, like somebody committed this crime. The cops knew in my dream that the students had OD'd, but because eyes had been on the university before for previous deaths of previous frat members ODing, what was that one young boy who froze to death? The university is like, we can't have this on the news. No, sir. It's going to get too political. It's going to get too political. So cops did what they do best, and that is be submissive and take orders and do what they're told from the higher up political dogs in power, right? And that's what happened in my dream. And so they planted the scene. And so in my dream, Maybet, the coroner, was like, the autopsy reports don't matter. And actually, she also said that in real life, right? That the results did not matter. That it did not matter if these kids had substances or not in their bodies. And I'm like, ma'am, what the fuck are you on? Because of course it matters. Of course it matters, right? This could tell us a lot about their reaction, times if they were being attacked, when they were being attacked, or it could tell us if they OD'd and passed away prior to when the crime was committed. But maybe it doesn't want us to dig so deep. Interesting. So I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave you with my dream. We've been here. Oh my God, I've been here 32 minutes. I'm horrible. So I personally, I want to see the toxicology reports. Where are they? Where are they? What do they say? And cops will often do what they're told. I'm not saying all cops are dirty, but statistically speaking, psychologically speaking, a lot of people who score high in psychopathic and sociopathic traits often gravitate towards positions of authority, like the military, like law enforcement, like presidents of universities, like presidents in general. So Caroline says the statement of coroner defensive wounds doesn't support the OD. Well, there's a lot of contradictory statements made all over this case. The only way to really know would be when we go to trial and we actually see what are these defensive wounds that she's talking about. Does she even know what she's talking about? Does she even know what a defensive wound looks like? Because from what I've read, this coroner doesn't have much education, right? Okay, she was maybe a lawyer. Okay, maybe she was a nurse. Maybe. And what does that have to do with identifying wounds, ma'am? Okay, you went to a 3-month course? I'm sorry, but I would have also gotten my own autopsy done from a separate private entity, not from the coroner that was paid, that is paid by the state. That could be technically paid off to say whatever political dogs in power need to be said to fit the narrative. Why would you? Why? No. So Lori says it's okay. I like your lives. Yay. ALW, Nika, what are you feeling on the roommate that passed away from an OD? I think her name was Hannah. Oh my gosh. I had nightmares about Hannah and Maddie in the early days. Please go watch my old videos like that I started in this channel almost 2 years ago. Go watch them because I definitely have made videos talking about Hannah and Maddie and rumors about Maddie being a bully. They're just rumors, again, for people who are obsessed with decorum and speaking only positive of the dead. It's like, nobody's perfect. Just because you died doesn't mean that you didn't have any flaws. And I hope to God, when I die, or when you die, we'll see who goes first, that you guys are honest about everything. Like, okay, Nika was whatever, but she could also be a bitch, or she could also be, I don't know, a little bit have an ego. I have an ego. We all have an ego, right? Whatever. What I'm saying is, just because people pass away doesn't mean that they were not bullies or that they were perfect. So just go watch that video, please, because Hannah Cleary, the date of when she passed away and her ties to Maddie are problematic, to say the least. So just go watch that, please. Love it live. FU is my favorite word, very descriptive. I have the mouth of a sailor because I was a sailor. Ego separates humans from rabbits. I agree. Lori says London has a video of the grub truck and it looks like Hannah's brother. SJSU Philosopher. On Dying, please read page 206 in Carl Sagan, The Demon Haunted World. Crime Time. Everyone gets pissed off if we talk about the victims, but it's part of the story and doesn't get erased. Exactly. Why would you erase the victims, right? When we die, we are the totality of what we are, who we are, what we identify as remains, right? And we all have different versions of ourselves, right? I'm going to be different with my children versus my husband versus YouTube strangers versus YouTube people that are in here all the time versus my colleagues. It's just, we have different relationships. Oh, my daughter was a corpsman, hospitalman, and surgical tech. Me too. I was also a corpsman and a hospitalman on active duty for 5 years. That's amazing. Tell her I said thank you for your service. She's my sister in arms. Very cool. Very cool. Hi, Saudi. Do you want the docs on the toxicology reports? Honestly, if they're from... Are these the toxicology reports from the coroner, from the state, or are these private? If you want to send them to me, you can find me on Instagram. My Instagram will be in the description of every video. We all wear different hats. Exactly, right? All right, guys. Leah says, Nika, you're funny. All right, guys. Thank you guys for joining me in the chat. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. If you have a significant other in your life, make sure to spoil them. Get them, like, I don't know, candy or a flower or like a dandelion. Like, you don't need to go all out to, to make it special. So thank you guys for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful Valentine's Day weekend and stay safe if you are in the Chicago area. It's supposed to be freezing out, so stay safe. Try not to drive. It's gonna be disgusting out, supposedly. So see you guys soon, I hope. Bye. Have a good one. Adios.